Welcome to day 4 of our trip through northern Italy. To give you an overview of our route, let's take another quick look at the map. On day 4, we'll drive through Florence and San Gimignano and continue south through Tuscany. On day 4, we followed the Arno River upstream to Florence. We cycled into the city very early in the morning from the south. We did this because it was going to be another very hot day and we still had a few kilometers to go. We reached Porta Romana, one of the Florence historic city gates. The Porta Romana was built in the late 15th century during the reign of the Medici family. At the gate, we made a short visit to the small park next to it, which was originally built for the stables of the ruling family. At first, we didn't know that, but it caught our attention. Then we caught the sight of the famous Ponte Vecchio, a bridge dating back to the medieval times. And finally we reached Florence Cathedral. The cathedral is officially known as Cattedrale di Santa Maria del Fiore. The building is one of the most significant architectural achievements of the Renaissance, as it solved the technical problem of constructing such a massive dome without the need for scaffolding, a feat that had never been accomplished before. You know it from pictures, but standing in front of it in real life felt surreal. Finally, we drove to the Piazza della Signora in the heart of the historic center and had a coffee. Before leaving the city, we cycled to a viewing platform, the Piazzale Michelangelo. From here you can see once again how the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore rises above the other buildings in the city. We then left the city again along the Arno River to head south towards the town of Col di Val d'Elsa. There we plan to continue the second part of the day trip after breakfast. Okay.
What is our plan?
Now we are make a ride to San Gimignano, the old city,
Difficult name.
and we are riding across the nature. Most part of it is only nature.
Super. And it's 42 kilometers.
About 42 kilometers, 700 meters elevation difference. A river called Elsa flows through this region, originating in the Chianti Mountains and flowing into the Arno River. This is where the name Val d'Elsa, meaning Elsa Valley, comes from. After driving through the town of Col di Val d'Elsa, we had a stretch of road ahead of us that took us over idyllic hills and fields. Apart from the already intense heat, it was beautiful. Whoa. The surface of the route varied greatly. In some places we rode on dirt roads with stones and large holes, and in others on asphalted roads. One feeling was great, as you race down empty country roads in the burning heat and feel the cooling wind on your face. It gives you the feeling of flying free as a bird over beautiful Tuscany. Then the surroundings changed again and we passed through a wooded part of the area. However, the road became more challenging again.
Okay, the road
Interesting path.
gets stranger.
Good.
It looked as if we had arrived at an old riverbed, which we could now call our bike path. But the actual riverbed was still ahead of us.
So,
Good luck.
thank you.
I had to laugh because the guys wished us good luck.
Very well.
So good.
And then the bike path seemed to have disappeared completely, and we still hadn't reached the town of San Gimignano.
First bottle empty. We went many kilometers up. And it's 1 o'clock.
Although it was challenging due to the heat and the rough trails, it was impressive to see the beauty of this idyllic landscape with its olive trees and grapevines and the impressive villas that appeared again and again. It felt so surreal and adventurous to cycle through the cypress trees in this rural area and see how they adorned the landscape.
So we just found the city, our goal, there on the hill.
But our route took us deeply down into the valley again, followed by a gentle climb up to San Gimignano.
Wow. If you're not in the forest, it's extreme hot. And now it feels like we could make it for lunch. Oh no.
Right now my knees hurt a little bit, so we will see.
After a challenging ascent, we finally reached the town on the mountain. Then we reached the old city gate. What we hadn't noticed was that there was some kind of medieval event taking place that day. The whole city was decorated with colorful flags, and lots of people were walking around in medieval clothing. Medieval events are held regularly in San Gimignano, keeping the town's history and traditions alive. They are usually organized by the town council in collaboration with local associations. Visitors can immerse themselves in the world of the Middle Ages with historical parades, music, dancing, and craft stalls.
And up again. We are heading back to our starting point, but it goes up again. Whoa. And cycling down, there was no cold wind, just hot wind.
The way back really pushed us to our limits, so that we hardly filmed anymore, but began to doubt whether we would make it back safely. I took one last shot shortly before we took a longer break, because Salome had reached the end of her strength. Finally, I drove to the car alone and picked her up. But that was the sign for us that we would only do shorter tours from now on. The heat was simply too intense. The last thing we did that day was to stretch our legs with a walk around the small village of Monteregioni.